Thanks again for letting me try out my new Ulalek fused Atrocity Eldrazi Commander deck. No problem, but only because you promised not to do anything crazy. With Ulalek fused Atrocity on the battlefield, I'll cast Echoes of Eternity. If a triggered ability of a colorless spell you control or another colorless permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. It also has whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for that copy. Okay, you said nothing crazy. It won't be, I promise. Besides, I only have one card in my hand, and all this leftover mana. How crazy could it possibly be? I suppose. So is that your turn? Gotcha! I'll cast this insignificant blister pod. What happens? No, I already did something similar to this last week. I'm not doing it again. Dance, monkey, dance. When you cast Blister Pod and it hits the stack, three things happen. Ulalek sees the devoid colorless spell and has the trigger, when you cast an Eldrazi spell, pay 2 to copy the entire stack. Echoes sees you cast it and triggers when you cast a colorless spell, copy it. Echoes also sees Ulalek copying the stack and triggers it an additional time. Okay, so how's the stack look? The most optimal stack at this point is original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod copy, Ulalek stack copy, Echoes additional Ulalek copy. If you have the mana, you can then resolve the Echoes Ulalek copy, which now makes the stack look like this. Original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek stack copy, Blister Pod original, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek stack copy. Why stop there, right? I'll pay another 2 wastes and let's copy it again. Why not, right? Now the stack looks like original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek stack copy, Blister Pod original, Echoes Blister Pod, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek stack copy, Blister Pod original, Echoes Blister Pod. I would like to say that when we resolve that Echoes Blister Pod, it was not created, so it will not trigger token doublers. So please keep that in mind through all of this chaos. Good to know, good to know. So we resolve our 2 Blister Pods, 1 original, 1 copy. They make tokens which are affected by token doublers, which is a whole thing in itself, but let's copy the stack again and pay 2 more. I hate you so much. The stack is now original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek copy, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, Ulalek copy, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod, original Blister Pod, Echoes Blister Pod. This is great. Now we get to resolve 4 Blister Pods before we get to copy the entire thing again. After you resolve those 4 Blister Pods, you get another chance to copy the stack again, and then you get 6 Blister Pods. Copy it again, 8 Blister Pods before you can copy the stack again. Want this stack to produce infinite mana? Replace that Blister Pod with any Eldrazi that creates scions or spawns. Plus, don't forget Echoes of Eternity will also copy all of those Enter the Battlefield triggers if they happen. I love it! It's basically, can you stop us? Nope. GG. That's it though. I am done with Ulalek forever.